Come on, move with me. Listen closer. Move with me. Mind to liberation. Aquarius. Hey, Nitsa and Kofa here. I love these beam. I hope you can see this. It's like really like beam of light coming through here as I'm sitting in front of my sacred tree out on fresh green grass with my shoes off and with the earth just replenishing itself through all the rain, reminding us all to drink water and to let these downloads and this energy just wash through us and transmute us and let us be transformed. What I really wanted to talk about, and giving thanks to my sister friend who posted the Age of Aquarius a few days ago on her post, it really resonated because this is exactly what we're moving into, moving from the places of our lower chakras as a humanity. Nothing wrong with the lower chakras. They awaken us to different things and align us with different energies. And now we're moving from the will space into living as the potentiality to live more heart in a more heart space humanity. And this is what this video is about. So with all of that beauty and love in the Age of Aquarius, and I'm making sure that my feet are actually on the earth right now as I say this and get support from the Great Mother and the wisdom of my sacred tree. I want to give honor to Zazobe, and I want to give thanks to one of my friends who actually named her. It means wise woman, and she's a very special being that helps me with all of my sacred work. And what I learned from another sister friend, you see how the healer network just be putting stuff together with each other and for each other, is that it was the very first flowering tree. It was the first flowering tree on the planet, the magnolia tree. So it had to create things that weren't even around. There was no blueprint, right? It received of course, just putting my own words to what happened in the evolutionary space, but it had to create that which had not existed previously in any other space and time on this planet. So that was a direct creation or co-creation. And the reason why I want to do this in front of my sacred tree and make sure that I get her wisdom along with what Spirit is telling me in this moment is because this is what we're being asked to do right now in this moment, to create something which none of us have ever witnessed or seen before. We can use the wisdom of our ancestors, the many sciences and religious practices and wisdom that they had, the wisdom of our ancestors who walked through periods of time where they had to create. But this is our opportunity to take all that wisdom and knowledge and create something which will be of benefit to us and that we will feel beautiful about gifting to the next generations that come after us. So here's what this video is about. It's about two things. One, realizing that is the space in which we are in. There's only one way to do that, and that is to to figure out through an embodied practice, what is it that we like and enjoy, and what is it that feels good to us to do from our heart space. So most of us at the time of this recording are in isolation. There is some shifting of energies of some opportunities to learn through disease and through um, um, the things that are going on in the planet, with most of humanity having to protect itself and go in spaces of isolation. So we're going not only into physical spaces of isolation, but we're also given an opportunity to go within ourselves and to ask ourselves, after this is over, the world as we know it has crumbled. It already has. It already has crumbled. The things that we've had to contemplate and consider as a result of the positions that we find ourselves in, it has changed humanity across the board all at one time. Every human on the planet is aware of what's going on, either through, um, more modern ways of communications, and or they have their own spiritual beings and leaders who are letting them know, or their own people feel and know what's going on the planet. This is an evolutionary moment. So with that in mind, we have to embody, and the only way we do that is to try to figure out, like, all the things we've been saying. Our society is so focused on what we don't like. We have been programmed excellently to focus on what we don't want, what we don't like, who we don't like, who not doing it right, who not saying it right, who not wearing it right, who not presenting it right, who not sleeping with the right person, all of this, right? And so now it is time for us to remove that conditioning with consciousness and open up these spaces, right? Our spaces of choice, our spaces of our own will, and our own rootedness in that which is important to us. So for me, I've been saying literally for years, I'm going to plant some things in the earth. This is part of what I saw my grandmothers doing, my great aunt, what I heard them doing. And what I feel called to do is to be a wise woman, a woman who walks close with the earth. But I wasn't taught these practices. And so in my future mind, I was always saying, I'm going to have an opportunity to learn that. And Spirit has been leading me towards that. And so in this season, I'm like, hey, Spirit is like, embody that. So my daughter and I planted seeds, greens. We planted and we found out several things in our yard that can be harvested for food. I'm also considering, what does it look like for me to not ever put my daughter somewhere other than with me and still do my sacred work? And I'm living into that. I'm living into that with the intention that Spirit is going to make a way for that to be so, because I have made a decision that is what I want. That's what I want to gift to those who come before me as an option for them, among the many options that we're all creating. We all have an opportunity to create through our embodiment, through our practices, and through that which is important to us, the many options and ways of being that can coexist together in this space and time. So with that comes a real train that's going to be rolling into the station real quick, which is the shadows. The liberatory shadows. I'm calling them liberatory shadows. So these are the things that come up for us, that pull us back into the things that we've been conditioned to do and feel and experience and participate in, even though we are actively saying we don't want that in our lives. So when the anxiety of I don't know how to do this, which I said I want to do, comes forward, and we don't want to really stretch ourselves and grow ourselves in ways, or we feel like the many doubts that have been planted and seeded in our consciousness about what we can't do, because no one else has done it. The magnolia is living proof, and her inspiration of every other flower that we see on the planet. This is what we have the opportunity to do. We have the opportunity to be the first flowers of a heart-centered, heart space rooted society that can co-create and coexist with each other in truth and in integrity. We've had many of our ancestral societies who were able to live in truth and integrity, but as a global community, we're now able, we now have an opportunity to figure out what that looks like, and it starts with what we're embodying. So when these liberatory shadows come up for us, we have to remember a couple of things that we can do. We must first have a clear vision of that which we really, really want. Not that what we think we can get. How do I want to live my life? This takes some inner work and some inner listening. Put your feet on the earth. Ask the question. Many of us we don't know because we ain't never asked. It takes a big level of courage to even ask the question. And I'm not taking that lightly, the amount of courage it takes to say, what do I want? What do I want? How do I want to live? And understand some of the ways in which our visions have been co-opted, right? And commandeered by the current crumbling structure, which tells us, I don't want to be on the bottom rung of this society. I want better opportunities to be on the top rung of this society. Here's the thing. Whether you are a consumer or a producer or a victim of this current paradigm, you are a participant in it. If you're a consumer, you're a producer, or you're a victim. So you're on the outskirts of this paradigm, you're still a participant. And it doesn't mean everything has to be thrown away. We don't have to throw everything that we've learned and everything that we've acquired and everything that we are. It's just, how do I want to participate in my own life with my own sense of well-being at the center of that? It will probably look different for each of us, but from that space of authenticity and real rootedness, we will be able to figure out what kind of society is now trying to emerge that can be a beautiful shining light for each one of us, and a beautiful opportunity for each one of us to show the divinity that we are, to really be in the divinity that we are. We are divine beings. We are emanations of the one source, right? What is this unique creation wanting to live? Wanting to live. So we're asking for a higher vision of ourselves and our lives. So for me, that means not thinking about what I want to leave as far as knowledge. That's how I've been approaching some of my work. What do I want to leave as far as knowledge I've obtained through this spiritual walk? No, what do I want to gift as an embodied example of living with the bliss and the love of the Creator? And that's a very different question. So I'm dealing with these liberatory shadows that tell me, but how you gonna make money? How you gonna, how you gonna? And honestly, y'all, we already have access. Everything that energetic law says, before you ask, you are answered. Before you ask, you are answered. I have the complete capacity to do everything that I have wanted to do as it is now. It is just a decision on how to just shift my own consciousness and my own beliefs around it, and expand that which I want to do, which will create even more opportunities and more abundance for me. I speak, my words do not return to me void. This is not only a teaching, it's a personal affirmation for my own existence. And so those of us who are more conscious and more conscientious have an opportunity and a responsibility. We have an ability to respond to this call for us to embody, to really embody a new paradigm for humanity. Wow. What a legacy we can give to humanity. What a legacy we can give to the 7 generations that will follow us. What a legacy we can give to those who are already in community with us and look at us as leaders and as rooted energies as much as we possibly can be, as much as we possibly can be in any given moment. So that is the teaching. Understand we're in a cycle of the liberatory shadows coming up and saying, hey, is my time up, or do you want another round? You want another round of this of how Earth is right now? I mean, we can get another round of humans as machines, you know, as cogs of industry, or we can, I can say my time is up. I've served well. I've served the consciousness of humanity. I've served to show that this is what we don't want anymore. This has served us. Now it's time to create something different. That's going to take a conscientious visioning time. Let's use this opportunity Spirit has given us to do that, to not only contemplate what we want, but to try to embody it in as many ways as we can. Taking the example of the first flowering plant, the magnolia. My sister friend Ella said that we are high priestesses, self-proclaimed high priestesses of the magnolia tree. I'm like, yes, yes, so true. So true. Um, it is my prayer that this has been helpful to you, helpful to me, helpful to humanity at this time. Peace, light, love, blessings, and blessings. Mwah.